A heresy is a belief or teaching that is contrary to the accepted doctrine of a particular Christian denomination or tradition. In the early church, heresies arose when some Christians began to teach ideas that were at odds with the traditional beliefs of the church. These heresies were considered harmful to the unity and purity of the church, and church leaders worked to identify and combat them. It is important for Christians to know and understand the history of heresies because they provide insight into the development of Christian doctrine and the challenges that the church has faced. Throughout its history, heresies often highlight issues that were important or controversial at the time, and studying them can help us to understand the theological debates of the past and how they have shaped the church today. Additionally, knowing the history of heresies can help Christians to be better equipped to identify and resist false teachings in the present. So with this being said, let's go over a few of the early heresies in short. In a later series of videos, we will break them down in full individually. 1. Gnosticism. This heresy taught that the material world was evil and that the path to salvation lay in acquiring secret knowledge. Gnostics believed that Jesus was a spiritual being who did not truly take on a human body. Prominent Gnostic leaders included Valentinus, Basilides, and Marcion. The church fathers who fought against Gnosticism included Justin Martyr, Irenaeus, and Tertullian. 2. Arianism. This heresy, named after the theologian Arius, taught that Jesus was not fully divine but rather was a created being. Arius believed that the Father and the Son were not equal in nature and that the Father was superior. The Arian controversy was one of the most significant theological controversies in the early church and was condemned at the Council of Nicaea in 325. Church fathers who fought against Arianism included Athanasius, the Bishop of Alexandria, and the theologian Basil of Caesarea. 3. Docetism. This heresy held that Jesus' physical body was an illusion, and that he only appeared to be human. Docetics believed that Jesus was purely a spirit and that his suffering and death on the cross were not real. The church father Ignatius of Antioch wrote against Docetism in his letters. 4. Montanism. This movement, founded by the prophet Montanus and his followers Priscilla and Maximilla, claimed that they were receiving new revelations from the Holy Spirit. Montanism taught that the end of the world was imminent and that the church needed to return to a more rigorous and ascetic way of life. The movement was considered heretical because it placed Montanus and his prophecies above the authority of the church and its bishops. The church father Tertullian was initially a follower of Montanism but later renounced it. 5. Pelagianism. This heresy, named after the British monk Pelagius, denied the doctrine of original sin and taught that people have the natural ability to choose to do good and avoid sin. Pelagius believed that humans could attain salvation through their own efforts, without the need for grace. The church fathers who fought against Pelagianism included Augustine of Hippo and Jerome. 6. Nestorianism. This heresy, named after the theologian Nestorius, taught that there were two separate persons in the person of Jesus Christ, one human and one divine. Nestorius believed that the human Jesus and the divine Christ were united in one body, but not in one person. This view was condemned at the Council of Ephesus in 431. Church fathers who fought against Nestorianism included Cyril of Alexandria and Pope Leo the Great. 7. Apollinarianism. This heresy, named after the theologian Apollinaris of Laodicea, taught that Jesus had a human body and a human soul, but that his divine logos took the place of his human spirit. Apollinarians believed that Jesus was not fully human, since he did not have a complete human nature. This view was condemned at the Council of Constantinople in 381. Church fathers who fought against Apollinarianism included Athanasius and Gregory of Nazianzus. 8. Donatism. This heresy arose in the early 4th century in response to the persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire. Donatists taught that the sacraments administered by priests who had renounced their faith during persecution were invalid. Donatists also believed that only pure Christians, who had not compromised their faith during persecution, were eligible to be bishops or priests. This view was condemned at several church councils, including the Council of Carthage in 411. Church fathers who fought against Docetism included Augustine of Hippo and Jerome. 9. Eutychianism. This heresy, named after the monk Eutyches, taught that after the union of the divine and human in the person of Jesus, the two natures were transformed into a single, divine nature. Eutychians believed that Jesus' human nature was absorbed into his divine nature, rather than remaining distinct. This view was condemned at the Council of Chalcedon in 451. Church fathers who fought against Eutychianism included Leo the Great and Maximus the Confessor. 10. Monophysitism. This heresy, which means one nature, taught that Jesus had only a single, divine nature and that his human nature was absorbed into his divine nature after the incarnation. Monophysites believed that Jesus was fully God and not fully human. This view was condemned at the Council of Chalcedon in 451. Church fathers who fought against Monophysitism included Leo the Great and Maximus the Confessor. Thank you for tuning into our video about early Christian heresies. We hope that you have gained a greater appreciation for the rich history of the Church and the challenges that it has faced throughout the centuries. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date with our content. It's crucial for Christians to be aware of heresy and to actively work towards correcting it when we encounter it. While we may not always see eye to eye on every belief, it's essential that we hold fast to the core teachings of the faith. If you come across false teaching, it's our duty as believers to address it with love and grace. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.